it's hard for us in Colorado, man. It's to the point, man, where like, yeah, man, we fucking feel horrible every time this shit happens in our fucking state. But man, I also noticed I also noticed my numbness to it.
I got something cool in the mail, and I've been dying to open this, but I wanted
Oh,
to
did you
do it.
get your
I
shit
wanted to do it
from
here.
Sons of Gray?
Got my shit from Son of Gray. I guess I
Nice.
should probably cover up his shit, huh? So I'm gonna open. I want to unbox it here. Welcome to episode 19.
Fuck.
Fucking 19. We're gonna start today. We just had a band a couple episodes ago. Hopefully you saw it.
I went out to Spring Fling today and saw John Saltz and his new '80s cover band,
Oh yeah.
Long Duck Dong.
I saw a live stream of
Great,
them.
great name for a band, Long Duck,
Right.
for an '80s band. It's fucking awesome.
Oh shit. So
Pretty
yeah,
good,
so
man.
so we had on Freddie from Son of Gray. He told us he was going to send us some merch. So we're going to check this out, see what he sent us. Sweet, sweet. Sent me a cool little thank you letter for the show. That was awesome. Oh, this is what I'm really excited about right here. Come on. Oh yeah, Daddy, yo, this will be going right.
What the
Got both
fuck is it? Put it in the
both
fucking camera, bro.
both the CDs.
Oh, nice.
These will be going right into my CD player. This one here, Outer World, will have extremely heavy rotation for my music listening. As a matter of fact, with all the recording I've been doing lately, I have found myself very much leaning after hearing this and listening to it so much. I was starting
Are
to
you
listen.
playing Doom now?
I was listening. I'm like, man,
Are you playing Stoner Doom, Brian?
that is fucking Doom.
You
I
ain't even got no weed, man.
got. Oh, I'm gonna have to put this on my motorcycle jacket. It's a fucking sweet little patch.
Nice.
Son of Gray patch, a couple stickers. Got that one,
Sweet.
that one, and come on. There we go. And he says, "What size do you want me to send you for a shirt?" And I basically just said, "Man, send me the fattest man size you have." Oh, and he did not disappoint.
You got a quadruple?
Triple X.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm
That's a
fucking.
nice shirt, bro.
It is a nice shirt. It's nice and thick.
Where's mine at?
You got to get your address. You never
This
gave me your
mother.
address to give to him. So Freddie, if you're watching this, man, I got your stuff. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
You got.
thanks, man. I'm gonna get you my motherfucking address too, I guess. I'm playing, man. Thank you, Freddie. Thanks for coming on.
That is so awesome, and if you guys get a chance, go check them out, man. I'm not even kidding. One of my new favorites. Um, I wanted to do that. I've been dying to open that. I got it like probably 4 or 5 days ago, and I'm like, I really want to save it to open for the episode, and then we canceled Thursday. I'm like, come on, man. We got a couple of shitty things happen these past couple of weeks that I'd like to talk about. Um, Obviously, the two shootings that happened. One down here in Georgia, right? I think it was Georgia,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the other one there in Colorado. Um, and I know that just reading when I go through and I read posts about it, it's so everything is so at each other's throats, at each other's. Everybody's so
It
passionate
has
about what
always
they
been,
think.
yeah, it has always been a hotbed issue, man.
Right. So I've been going through me myself. I'm stand behind the Second Amendment myself. Um, have been a gun owner. I don't currently have a gun, but that's not for any reason except that I don't have it. Um, so I'm definitely, I stand behind the Second Amendment. With that said, um, I think there's got to be discussions of something of how this is going. Um, a lot of things that I see people posting are just, I mean, you could go in and look the stuff up and find out in a matter of a minute that it's not true. It's not, it's just kind of bullshit that they're posting. And I think it's now maybe the people that come out with the vitriol, maybe they see on their timelines the libs or whatever that come in and are spitting that they want to come for your guns or whatever. I don't see that. I don't see any of that on my timeline. That I'm not saying it doesn't happen, and I'm not saying that there's not.
I
There's
think the fact that people are so passionate about the goddamn thing, it makes it easy for them to actually pass on information that they haven't really even thought about, but rings rings true to the emotions that they're feeling at the moment.
true,
You know
true.
what I mean? And I think people do that too much instead of fucking taking a second and putting out, instead of just sharing fucking memes and bullshit, putting out a fucking thought, their own thought
Mm,
about what it is that is bothering them. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Instead of trying to cling on to something a meme because it imparts the emotion without really imparting the truth of what you're feeling and then passing that along as the truth. I mean, it happens too much. In my
Well,
opinion.
and what I see, what normally if somebody they just post something, I may not agree or like what they post, doesn't bother me, but I keep seeing this hashtag facts over feelings and blah. So I'm like, okay, well, these facts that you're posting seem pretty fucking crazy. So I go and check them out. And when it turns out that they're in fact not facts, I'm like, how can you post that just
How
because
can
you
you hashtag it as
right
facts?
as facts over feelings? And who is it that's getting to you saying that, I understand people are afraid that somebody's going to come take their guns away. I
I'm also afraid somebody's going to break into my house.
Right, but knowing what people with what the big thought of, you know, nobody's gonna come take my guns. I haven't heard even the politicians. I haven't heard them saying we're gonna come take your guns. Now, so what I did is I went and did a little bit of research, and the only politician that I found that said they would be willing to take your guns away is this one here. So I'm going to share something with you.
Oh,
And
where's this guy from? Who is it?
I think some people may have heard of him before or
Is
seen
this a
him.
skit?
This is not a skit. Okay, here we go. This is the only politician I've seen.
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Well, in the category, you've spoken about it, Mr. President, gun violence restraining orders. They're called, California actually has a version of this. And I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process, so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
Mike,
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms, they saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Come again? Go take their guns first and go through due process second. I mean, why?
Wait, that's their guy though. That's the guy. That's their guy.
what I'm
That's
saying,
all those people that are saying they're coming for my guns. That's their guy.
right? And so I don't understand where is the vitriol when that happens. Now, granted, I say that and yes, I did go do research. I went and researched a lot of different angles on all of this. To be fair, there could be videos of other politicians out there saying that. Nothing that I found. That's what came up when I found. And I'm like, holy shit! I mean, this is not hearsay. This is straight out of his mouth. You know what I mean? So anyway, that kind of stuff. I'm like, where is all this craziness when that happens? Now,
He's the research guy. I'm the op-ed guy. That's it. That's what it is. I just
now,
want you to give you my opinion about everything.
another thing that I've seen, and again, let me preface this by saying that I'm not here to advocate for anybody's guns being taken away or anything like that. Um, but another thing that I hear is a lot of talk about this Boulder shooter and how, you know, the laws failed. You know, he was his background check passed and he was on an FBI watch list and this and that. Okay, so
Was he actually though?
I went and checked
Was
it
he?
out. On a watch, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it a watch list. His identity was known to the FBI due to an investigation on somebody that he was in association with. Okay, now whether he was on an FBI or a watch list or not, how can you say that the gun law failed? Isn't that an FBI fail for not getting it out there on a background? How is that? How is that a gun?
How was the FBI not notified by some form of electronic notification
Right,
when
or
when
why is
his when that guy's fucking background check processed?
right? I mean, exactly. And my point is I keep seeing gun laws fail. This happened. They fail, and then they start listing things like another law that failed is capital murders against federal law. So that failed, and I'm like, okay, that's just being stupid. By that uh, way of thinking about it, you could say let's just get rid of all laws because all laws fail. You go look at a courthouse any given day of the week and tell me how packed it is because of how many laws are being broken. I mean, that's just silly. Now, I get it. This happened, but you can't. I don't think that you can say that the laws, a background check or anything like that, has failed. And the reason I say that is because it's impossible to know how many times these laws have prevented something.
Hmm.
Where's a number for that? You can't possibly know that. And I'm not saying it's prevented a bunch. I don't know if it's prevented any. We don't. It's just something that you cannot measure.
Denials are a regular occurrence in background checks for
Right.
firearms in this country, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
People
So
get denied regularly for all kinds of different reasons.
that's what I'm saying. So, and we don't know. So to just come out and say that it's a fucking failure because this happened, I think is it's a little much. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not.
Again, the fucking gun that he bought at that fucking gun store didn't carry itself down to motherfucking
You're right. You're right.
king supers and
You're
blast
you're
people.
you're right. But I'm just saying that you know something's there has to be conversations somewhere about some of this. You can't just throw your arms up and say they failed. You can't do this. And if it's a Second Amendment thing, which a lot of people use as what they're standing behind. Okay, if we're going to stand behind one amendment in the Constitution, don't we have to stand behind them all? So if that's the case, why are these same people not pitching a fit over the voting rights that are being fucked with right now everywhere? That's a pretty dangerous ordeal too.
Voter suppression is alive and well in 2021, man.
And it's being shot under the guise of fucking uh, voter security. I mean, give me a fucking break, man. For starters, there's no proof of security needed enough that would need what they're passing as laws down here. With that said, why is there not as much freak out about that there is about the Second Amendment? So what that tells me is that people will hide behind the Second Amendment because that's what they know. But you can't pick and choose what parts of the Constitution that you want to abide by. I mean, if you're going to be so passionate about this one, if you really say you believe in the Constitution, then we need to be passionate about all of it. We need to get out there and say that this can't fucking happen. If this can't happen over here with your Second Amendment, well, this can't happen over here with your 14th Amendment either. There's a serious problem with that. Now, there's, again, any arguments that I'm making, Christian, I realize that there's people out there that could make plenty arguments against, and possibly and definitely valid. I don't claim to know everything, nor do I claim that gun control is the answer. Okay.
Right.
I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, I don't think anybody does, or this would be fixed.
And you're always welcome to call us out for a debate, man. We can always
absolutely. But I want to, I'm not here.
But this is our fucking show, and it's about our opinions, and and that's what we're here for, is to share our opinions on life,
right,
and our experiences. If you
don't
fucking like it.
There's one more thing I want to go over before we get to what Christian and I agree with, what the problem really stems from. There's one more thing I want to go over. There was the federal assault weapons ban from 94 to 2004, right?
Yeah.
And everybody says, well, that didn't stop anything. Well, we could, there's plenty of charts out there. I'm looking at one now. And no, did it stop it? Absolutely didn't stop it. But during those 10 years, it was definitely lessened. That's for sure. Now, what I'm looking at here is all mass shootings. I didn't think it was fair just to do mass shootings by assault weapons, because obviously there's still guns out there killing people in other mass shootings, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to mass shootings for just mass shootings in general in our country. And in those 10 years, there was a couple bad years. 99, obviously a really bad year with Columbine. Anything from 94 to 82, it was definitely way up, 82 to 94. And then from 04 to now is fucking crazy. I mean, it's just the amount of people that were killed, 2005, 16, 2006, 18, 2007, 51 people, 16 and 08, 38 and 09, 18 and 11, 67 people killed in 2012. I mean, just the numbers are crazy. And I get that I get 71 in 2016. Geez Louise. 117 people killed 2017.
Worldwide?
No, this is just in United States. This is just at mass shootings. This isn't suicides. This isn't.
Yeah, no. I knew it was mass shootings, but
this is just the United States. That's what because of the weapons ban. Is that the answer? I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer or not. But my point is just because something doesn't affect you personally, as far as losing somebody or being injured or being hurt, I don't think means that your answer is correct. Why are we not asking the families or the however many people that have been injured or died, what do you think they think about gun laws? You know what I mean? Shouldn't they have, why are the families, are their opinions any less than anybody else's? Absolutely not. They've dealt with it. They've had firsthand effects of this going on. I don't know, maybe a lot of them would be like, hey, more people need guns. That's another thing I see a lot of. More people need to have guns. I don't think that's the fucking answer. We're not in the Wild West, and there's obviously mental issues going on rampant enough. We give everybody guns, and it's, everything's over. So anyway, I want to get off that. I know a lot of people are going to get pissed about that, and frankly, I don't care. I don't care that people get pissed. This is what I'm thinking. I'm actually out here looking to see what's going on in the world. I'm trying to figure out, why are people saying what they say, and why is it that when I read something, I can go find something immediately that says that it's not true, and so it frustrates me to read that stuff, especially from some people that I consider to be really good friends of mine. And I'm like, how, put yourself in somebody else's shoes for a minute. Just nobody wants to take your guns, but we got to do something. So with that being said, I'm not going to I have a lot of other stuff written down, a lot of other notes written down, but honestly, I get worked up about it if you can't tell. I don't mean to. I don't mean to to push it one way or the other. Tell people their rights aren't their rights. I don't. I'm in it with everybody else. I'm. We got to figure out something. Doing nothing is not the answer. That I know, and that seems to be what we keep doing is just nothing. Everybody, well, we just can't do anything about it. Just because the percentage is small doesn't mean that nothing can be done. But now under that, because you're right, guns don't pick themselves up and shoot anybody. You're absolutely right about that. So the one thing that all these mass shooters have in common: mental illness.
It's not a gun issue at all. It's not a gun issue. It's a mental health issue. Even the
Mhm.
guys, even the guys that get all fucking kitted out and take every fucking gun that they own to a place and shoot it up. It's not about the guns. It's about their mental health. And if
Right.
you've had any fucking dealings with the mental health system in this fucking country, you know it's fucking impossible to fucking talk to people.
Right.
People are out there, right, trying to find a therapist or a psychiatrist, right? Do you know how many motherfuckers you got to talk to and tell your fucking story to? Fucking open up all your personal wounds and throw them out on the table to over and over and over again because you can't find somebody that you're compatible with, first of
Oh,
all?
yeah. I've been dealing
You
with it
know?
been dealing with it my whole life. I know exactly
Yeah.
what it's like. Fucking, watch my mom been going through it, and
The system is not fucking user friendly, man. It's and it, I mean, and people end up not getting the mental health help that they need because they can't work through the system to find somebody who can actually help them in their particular specific instances. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
It's fucking crazy, dude. I mean,
Yep.
I'm a
Right.
fuck. I support the Second Amendment. I support your right to own
Right.
your fucking guns, dude. Whatever kind of fucking gun you want, doesn't fucking matter. Rifle is a rifle is a rifle. I don't give a shit. I know better, man. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, fuck what kind of furniture is on your gun, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It all does this. It's not about the guns. It's just never been about the guns. I'm fucking sorry. It's just never been about that. And you should have a right to protect yourself, your family, and your home. Fuck, man.
Now, um, I think this has got to be the obvious root problem of what's happened. I mean, it's the one thing that all of them have had in common. It's never religion. It's never the same extremism. It's never whatever. It's always some kind of mental illness that pops up. And even with this Boulder shooter, the first thing when they went and interviewed his brother, the first thing he says, he was mentally ill. He was having problems. Um, so what can be done, or why is it that we can't figure out how to combat that, or how to figure out if somebody's mentally ill before they get a gun? You know what I mean? What do we do to combat that
Hmm.
as a society? I mean, this has got to be a society thing that we fix here. Um,
What
how? Go ahead.
what is it that is broken about our mental health system that lets these people uh, slip through the cracks
Hmm.
where they can legally get themselves a gun and go take lives?
Right. And it seems to me anytime there's talk about we were talking earlier about just the system of mental health um,
Broken.
that's out there. It's broken. I grew up watching my mom go through it, um, and I know there's tons of people out there, a lot more than anybody thinks that there is. But a lot of times when you start talking about doing any kind of help for people like that, then suddenly it becomes a socialism issue, and it's like, fuck, man. I mean, why can't we get through something that is the good for the society? If everybody wants to stand up to the government for whenever they're apparently going to turn against us or whatever, I get it. The right to bear and carry arms is to fight tyranny, right? I understand that, but if we're going to do it as a whole, if we need to do it as united fucking people, then we need to figure out how to help people. We need to figure out a way to make it so that there's not a stigma on somebody for coming out and asking for help, to where there's not, maybe there's a gun owner out there that knows they have problems and that is fully responsible in their life, and is fully responsible and knows that they have an issue, and knows not to go to the guns when they're having an episode or depression or whatever the case may be. Maybe they are responsible enough to know that, but they'll never step forward and say, hey, man, I need some help. Because then you get people like the ex-fearless leader of Donald Orangeface come and take your fucking guns from you. You know what I mean? What can we do to help people? We can't just say, fuck it, it's not my fucking problem. It is our problem. People are getting
Well, that's
killed. You know, I mean,
that's just it, man. We got to stop looking at it as an us and them problem and realizing it's a motherfucking we problem.
right. And 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 just like you were saying, I mean, it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it takes a long time going through any kind of mental health, going to the doctors and stuff. It takes a really long time to go and find a doctor that.
And it's not an easy thing for somebody to have to fucking do. Like I said to you earlier, man, you know, before you can even find somebody who's going to help you, how many motherfuckers do you have to open all your own personal wounds to, just to see if they're a good fit to help you get the help you need? You know what I mean? I mean, come
Absolutely.
on, man. It's fucking, it's hard enough to go ask for that kind of help, man. But then, I mean, fuck. I don't know. I don't have the answers for it. I'm not, that is, beyond my personal level of education per se.
Right.
But you know what I mean? I don't have the answers for that, but I know that it's difficult. And I know that people slip through the cracks all the time as far as mental health goes in this country, because they don't know how to get it, or they don't feel comfortable enough to ask for it. And when they do finally feel comfortable enough to ask for it, it's so fucking difficult to navigate, and such a personal sacrifice to try to get yourself healed, that it makes it impossible for them to stick with it long enough to get help. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And there's, there are people out there that don't suffer from mental illness, that will never understand what people go through, and the judgment that's put upon them, or the being looked down upon because maybe you have depression problems, where all these things are issues. They're real fucking issues, man. and
Right.
and go ahead, what you want to say.
But I do want to say, regardless of the guy's mental health issues and shit, I mean, it was a fucked up thing that he did, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
fucked up for anybody to take lives in that manner so callously and so, you know, just without really thinking about the people that get left behind.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you know what I realized the most about it as I'm watching this is how numb I
Yeah.
am becoming to that whole thing
but
of witnessing mass shootings in
but that's a
this fucking
problem. That's a
fucking
fucking
state.
that's a problem.
Yeah, it
it,
is.
it can't,
But
that's
again, it's not about the fucking guns. It's about every single one of these people were fucked up in the head. Every
okay.
last one of them. The church, New Life Church shooter, fucked up in the head. The fucking uh, Planned Parenthood shooter, fucked up in the head. The fucking the theater shooter, fucked up in the head. The two kids from fucking Columbine, fucked up in the head, man. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? They're
That's
fucked
the
up in the head.
that's one thing that all of them have in common, all over the country. Not, all of them have that same thing in common. But and it's, whether it's the guns or not, maybe it's the access to, maybe.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And a lot of Second Amendment people are going to have a problem with this, but if you ever need mental health, if you ever reach out for professional mental health, then I think there should be some certain extra requirements before somebody can fucking sell you a gun
that's
just
that's
based on your medical history.
That's put into. I went and checked Supreme Court hearings about the Second Amendment, and for one, there was the last one that was heard about was in 2008. There hadn't been one heard before that since 1939. Okay, but one of the things that's in there in the arguments that have happened is that states should have the rights to regulate and put laws on guns and the access to guns, especially for those who have mental illness. I forget what the other ones are, but I mean, it's already there. It's there, but you tell people
But our
that.
capitalist drive causes us to cut corners while we're screening people that we want to fucking make money off of.
Right.
But again, I mean, the guy wasn't well, obviously, you know what I mean? He wasn't fucking well, man. And people are not well in this world, man. People are not well in this world. And sometimes, you need to be able to protect yourself from those people, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, I mean, it's not just you need to be able to protect yourself from those people. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you want to talk fucking gun control? What the fuck? Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
What more do I got to say about that? More motherfucking most strict gun laws in the country. More fucking guns in the fucking bad guys' hands than anywhere else in the country. What the fuck?
Well, there's something.
There's mass shootings in Chicago every fucking weekend, bro. Huh?
But there's got to be a way that can be figured out. That's not because of special interests with the government, with the NRA, and fucking. There's got to be other ways, because that just dilutes everything and it changes it into something else besides
what it originally set out to be, which
Right.
is some form of help.
Right. It turns it into something else, and I don't know. I don't, obviously I don't know the answers. That's well above my pay grade as well, man. But I'm certainly don't think there's a problem with working shit out and talking it instead of just
it's definitely something that needs to be discussed.
Instead of just stomping your feet and saying
more
this
than
could never happen.
than whenever some guy goes into a fucking grocery store and kills 10 people.
Right.
It should be discussed all the time. Not just, we shouldn't be discussing now just because somebody else fucking got shot.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Buying milk.
And that's when these conversations always flare up. It's then. And then it's, and you're right. This is something that should not be just talked about in those times, because honestly, they're flaring up a lot more often than they were in the past. And so we need to be talking to be discussing it and figuring something out before, there needs to be some type of preventative shit. I do know that the people that do get affected by this stuff, and we can't just say, well, not my fucking problem.
It is, man. It really is.
It just can't be that way, man. That's not the American way. I don't think that's not what I was raised to believe. And so last week, and I know nobody wants to hear about this. I understand. So it's only the circumstance of the story. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. The last Sunday, we went and got our first dose of the vaccine.
Woohoo!
Again, I know people out there don't give a fuck. They don't want to hear it. So we're not going to talk about the actual vaccine part. For starters, our drive over there, we did it over at the arena down here, which is about 30 minutes away from where we live. And we drive up. At first, it was weird. It was like pulling up. Trying to think of what it reminded me of, like, you remember, like, in not Independence Day. What was the other movie that was like Independence Day, or not? When the meteor strikes the Earth, fucking boom, everybody is gonna blow up. So they get all the people. They have underground shit, but only a certain amount of people are allowed to go to these underground bunkers.
That was that movie with Bruce Willis, wasn't it? They sent them motherfuckers up there to blow that shit up.
Right.
Armageddon.
That's it. So when they have all these people going to these in the mountain places, they drive up, you see all these military people there, right? Kind of directing traffic. Well, as soon as we drive up to the arena, first we go into the front. Before that, our drive down there, and I'm not going to share these stories. These stories are probably funnier if you were there, but some really, really bizarre shit happened to us on the way there. I will say that it involved people at the beach, massive amounts of people at the beach, all of them fully clothed, which was really bizarre. Even the people in the water, fully clothed. I can have no idea why they're all fully clothed. Maybe they shouldn't be at the beach or whatever. But
Was it a Sunday? Maybe they was getting baptized.
not on jet skis and shit. I mean, come
Oh, okay.
on.
Spring break fools. That's what it is.
Another had to do with a screaming seagull that went by our car, and a couple other things that were just we saw. Okay, I got to tell this one. We saw this guy, definitely a later age, probably I'd say probably mid to late 50s. We pull up next to him. He's driving. I want to say it's like maybe a Mustang or a Camaro, some midlife crisis nice car, right?
Yeah.
He's got the top.
C28, baby.
He's got the top down. He's blaring some disco music. He's got a dream catcher hanging from his fucking rearview mirror, and his license plate says topless. Fucking like, I wish I could have got a picture of him, but he was just too fast.
Mississippi. Yeah.
So
Y'all was relaxing in Mississippi a little bit. And shit.
So we pull up to the arena. We go into the front entrance of the arena, or the front parking lot, and there's a line, a little bit of a line, and there's people like there's parking aids there, right? We're like, okay, because we didn't know how this thing was going to work. And next thing you know, we see people giving them money. I'm like, we got to pay for parking for this? That's fucking weird. So we get up and they're like, are you here for the vaccine or are you here for the spring event, whatever the hell it was? We're like, oh, we're for the vaccine. So they sent us to the other side, to a different gate. We cruise around to this other gate. We go in, and it's like that scene from Armageddon. You go in, and there's just military people fucking everywhere. I mean, fucking everywhere. And I was like, oh, this is weird. And what they do is they kind of move you along a line, and then every couple hundred feet, you got to stop and talk to another military person. You give them, and basically you're giving all the people all the same information all the way through. So we go through there. I get the typical. One guy's like, please tell me you named one of your kids Jason, kind of things, fucking, which I get a lot in Mississippi. I didn't get that so much in Colorado, but I get that a lot in Mississippi. So we cruise around. We finally were coming up to the shot section, right? We get up there. I get mine sitting there right in my car. They do my arm. They do Annie's arm. She's in the passenger seat. And we pull out of there, and then you have to wait for 15 to 20 minutes to make sure you don't have some kind of adverse effect, right? So when we pull out of the building, my first perception of the cars up there is it looks like everybody's kind of piling in real quick to a bottleneck to where all the new military guys. So naturally, my anxiety kicks in. And I begin to start to panic because I don't know where I'm supposed to be. There's no apparent lanes or anything like that. And we look up, and signs everywhere that say, honk if you're in distress. Obviously, it's referring to if you're having an adverse effect to the shot. But my first reaction is, should I honk? I don't know where to go. But needless to say, I figured it out that it was the lanes, but I digress. Finally, we get up there. We still have about 5 minutes to go in our 15-minute time thing, and the military guy comes up to us, and he's talking really fast, and you can tell he's been doing this for days, and but he's got a really good attitude, right? And it's funny. He's like, okay, so you got about 5 minutes before I can let you go. He's like, are you guys feeling okay? We're like, yeah, we're feeling really good. He's like, is there any buzzing behind your ear? And my first reaction was like, what? I was like, that's a weird sign. I'm like, no. I looked at Annie. She's like, no buzzing. She's like, okay, they haven't activated the chip yet. He goes on, and what they do is they send you an email about setting up your second dose.
Dose,
He's
yeah.
like, so when you get that email, go ahead and click on that link. Once you click that link, your chip will be activated, and then you can set up and I was dying laughing, man. I could not have thought this guy was more funny, because I can only imagine the shit that he hears or that he's heard, and I thought it was great.
How many motherfuckers in that line were like, I knew it?
Right. I'm like, the guy made my day, man. It made it cool, man. It made it fun.
So another week, man.
Another week
and another fucking tribute, man.
Yeah.
Another tribute, man. Fucking, so freshman in high school, it's 1980. I'm growing up in Europe. I've been in Europe now for you know, since kindergarten and shit. And when you're in junior high, if you start and stick with music, right? When you're in junior high is when you learn you pick your instrument and you learn the basics. You learn how to you have those 3 years of junior high to learn how to read music and shit. And then when you get to high school and if you continue with your band, your scholastic band career, that's when you start working on performances
Mhm.
and shit, right? So that's where you branch out and you start going from learning the basics and honing the basics and the skills and the language of music and taking that and translating that into what you can now emotionally create as a individual with those tools in your toolkit. So in ninth grade, I fucking joined the jazz band, right? And I'm playing. I started out in woodwinds, so I
Mhm.
was a sax player through junior high, alto sax, soprano sax, baritone sax. So when I was a freshman in high school, um, I started out with the saxes again. In marching band, I played alto sax. In pep band, which was for basketball games, I played alto and baritone sax.
Mhm.
And for jazz band, I played baritone sax. Right. So last week, one of my very oldest friends died, who I first met in jazz band as a freshman in high school in Mannheim, Germany. His name is Wynne Paris, and he played guitar, man. He was this long haired stoner kid, right? Hung out with the freaks. That was his clique. And he had a fucking black on black, pearl black fucking Les Paul. First Les Paul I ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First time I fucking grabbed the guitar and went like, and when your first ever Les Paul that you hold in your hand, when it gets released in your hand, you automatically go like this. Whoa,
Right.
right? Because it's a fucking Les Paul. Right? So, I mean, anybody who's ever held one knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, and so we were in jazz band together for a couple of years. After that first year of jazz band, my friend Drac, who was the jazz band bassist, moved away, and so that's when I first picked up the bass.
Mhm.
Was in jazz band in high school, and I only picked it up because Wynn encouraged me to because he needed a bass player for his rhythm section. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and he knew that I wanted to do it before I did. Actually, you know what I mean? That was a natural progression for me. I was playing bass woodwinds anyways, So, I mean that's and then so the other day I find out that he just died out of the blue, heart attack, completely unexpected. I had been, I had texted him. He had texted me just like 3 weeks ago. He sells harmoniums, which he makes. Um, and it's a little squeeze box with a keyboard on it. If you've ever seen a harmonium, um, but he sells those. He handcrafts those and sells those. And he's like, man, look, man, I got a surplus of them, bro, man. If you know anybody who wants one. But he texted me all the time, man. He had plans. He was a musician and he played kirtan music or yoga music. He did a lot of. He was a founder of the a co-founder of the Love Light Festival, which he got help from Michael Lang to put together, which has been around now for quite a few years. Michael Lang is the guy who put on the original fucking Woodstock. So, I mean, that's the level of people that my friend Wynn knew. And, um, I mean, it's just another person that to just all of a sudden not be there, man, from one day to the next. It's just, it was the same kind of thing with Forsyth. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the same thing. They died of the same thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's the same kind of fucking shock and I'm granted I have not I saw Chris way more than I saw Win over the past 30 years. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
still, it's just as hard, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, he was just as impactful on me musically. I feel like Chris was.
Right.
So I don't know if there's another thing that's kind of similar to the to with both of them and how it affects me. It's just that's a hard one, man. I mean, Randy, the week before losing Randy was hard too because I knew him personally. You know what I mean? But again, this is I'm a little bit more affected by this because of the way the person affected me personally. So it's just hard, man. It's hard. I don't, and we're at that fucking age, right? I mean, we're at that age where our friends fucking die, man. You know what I mean? But still, man, for 2 weeks in a row, I don't want to do. I don't want to do a fucking. It's the 27th, right?
Hmm.
Let's. I hope that we can get through April without having to do a tribute, man.
That'd be nice.
That would be fucking sweet, wouldn't it, bro?
It would be great, man. It would be because
No.
that definitely getting to our age, man. It gets scary. You see it
Yeah.
happening, and it just makes you wonder. Have I for me personally, I haven't always done the best kind of living, and I need to be here for my kids and my family, and
It certainly makes you recognize your own fucking mortality, man. Every time.
absolutely
More and more, especially when it's people your own age it's happening
right,
to.
right. Well, I'm
So
sorry to hear that happened, man.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So we're gonna play a video. We got a video of his music and some pictures. Just a tribute, man. Tribute
Right,
to another friend and another fucking great musician, another person who just loved his craft and his and and how he could affect people with his little tiny bit of skill that he
right.
picked up in his lifetime. Because that's really what it is, man. It's just tiny bits of skill that you get to use to make other people happy.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, so we'll check it out. We'll definitely
We,
check out a song now. Is there anything else you want to cover?
no, I just, Spring Fling was cool. Tess and Nate, their events are fun, man. They had a lot of vendors, a lot of food trucks, band and a DJ. It was great to see John. Check out Long Duck Dong if you like 80s music, man. They're pretty cool, pretty good. Definitely worth going out to see.
Yeah,
If you need a good time and a party, go check them out.
right on.
But yeah, they'll be on in a couple of episodes to talk about what else they have coming on their calendar. I know they're doing another outdoor event that's going to feature one of our upcoming guests, Cleanse the Destroyers, and several other heavy ass bands. So it's
Cool.
going to be it's good, man. Local level shit. I mean, that's the only way things are going to come back. That's the first shit that's going to come back is all
Right,
your local level shit. So get involved, man. Get
right,
involved.
right, right. And everybody take advantage of getting back outside, enjoying each other, and you know, get to a show, love your neighbor. Fuck, man, we all could use it. That's for sure. Um, yeah, it's been tough, but we can make it through this.
Yeah.
We can do it. And music is the cure, man. So, uh, with that, yeah, it's good talking to you, man.
Good talking to you too, bro.
I'm glad we did this. Um, yeah, I'll see you next week, and we will see all of you next week. Here is Wynne Paris. What's the name of the song? You know the song? Is it
I,
Om
I
Shanti or
Om Shanti, yeah.
Om Shanti? Okay, so here's his song, Om Shanti. Enjoy it. May he rest in peace. All the people from Atlanta, all the people from Boulder that were affected, rest in peace. You know, thoughts go out to the families. Let's figure this out.
Let's be better to each other this week, fuckers.
Right, absolutely. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.